Okay, everyone. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, March 14th, 2023, 6 p.m. meeting of the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation. I need to establish a quorum from my left, please.
Key here.
Weller here.
Johannes here.
Bond present.
Okay, quorum is established. Please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 1 on the agenda is citizens' comments, and we have one person that has submitted a request to speak for him, Mr. Stephen Haynes. Steve, if you'd come on up, please. State your name and address for the minutes. And you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. It's Stephen Haynes, and the address is 102 Big Chief Drive is the business that we are invested in. I just want to give you an update on Pier 334. I try to do it, quarterly if possible, or monthly if necessary. We've been doing a lot of work, kind of quietly behind the scenes while we wait for some things to finish. The first one was we've been working with Hilton. They have agreed and approved of our SD package, which is the structural design. So that is now in the books and finished. And with their help or their direction, we had to hire a firm called Envision, which is an internal design firm out of Atlanta that specializes in tapestries. So they've been hired and given a retainer, and they're working now on the internal look and feel of the rooms and the lobbies and the pool and the brick and the color of the wood and the ceilings and everything else. So they're engaged, supposed to come back to us in about 3 or 4 weeks with their initial designs, and then we sit down with Hilton and we kind of go through and take a look at if it meets everybody's, if everyone likes it, and if it does, we just keep moving ahead. So they've done a bunch of tapestries, they know what they're doing, so I think we feel pretty comfortable. We also hired the kitchen consultant, which is Joe Spinelli Restaurant Consultants, Inc., and they're out of New York, and they are also another Hilton-approved vendor. And with the help of Purpose Lodging, we have signed an agreement with Joel Valente, who is a 3-star Michelin chef out of Washington, D.C. He is part of the Hilton family as well. There's a theme here of who you have to hire when you work with Hilton. And he will be helping us select a chef and train the chef, and then put the chef in for at least a 2-year stint at the hotel when it opens in the restaurant there. And they have a bunch of chefs that kind of tour the country. These guys, men and women, are all young. They're all in their mid-30s. They're all trained, classically, and usually in New York and Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., and then they plop them down in various hotels around the country so they get a little more experience. So it's we should have really, really good food. We've been working with Mundo Engineering and Joe Mundo. We had a really lengthy call a week and a half ago, and hot off the presses, we have all of his final answers. I have to get one thing signed by the fire chief, and the rest is all printed exactly. He only had 4 or 5 questions for us. We answered all of them to his liking, and they're now printed up and ready to go. So I think we're done and ready to go to the plan development for approval there. We were required by the bank to go back to HVS and get an updated appraisal because prices have gone up, but they did not change the cost of all the goods went up, and they made us reflect that, but they didn't give us any credit for the price of rooms, which have gone up significantly. So now they're redoing it so they can catch up with the revenues and the expenses, and we should have the bank should be comfortable with that once we get it. We were required to add $1.5 million of additional cash, which we did. It's sitting in the Pier 34 LP checking account, so we did that. And they are now requiring that the USDA get a loan guarantee from us. Believe it or not, because we're a rural opportunity zone and not, so they put one more layer of things we had to do. So we're signing guarantees for the piece of paper. And I don't know if you want to hear the Mundo stuff that we had to do or not, but it's all done. Okay, then that's my update.
Okay, exciting. Thanks so much, Stephen. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I had no one else turn in papers, so we will close the citizens' comments at this time. Item number 2 is discuss take action to approve the January 10th, 2022 EDC meeting, 2023 EDC meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we discuss, take action to approve the January 10th with the correction 2023 EDC meeting minutes.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Bond. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Key. Sorry. Okay, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I will vote. We'll vote from my left, please.
Key, yes.
Weller, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion carries. Moving to item number 3, discuss take action to approve the February 16th, 2023 EDC meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move that we discuss and approve the February 16th, 2023 EDC meeting minutes.
I have a motion for Mr. Key. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bond. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Well, one thing that needs to be corrected on the minutes, Robin, is it says that I led the moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was not here. So if we can amend that, and if Mr. Bond and Mr. Key are fine with that being amended, or you want to add that to your motion that we amend it, please.
I will amend my motion that we will approve said meeting minutes as corrected, as stated by Ms. Johannes.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Okay, we now have the amended motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote from my left, please.
Key, yes.
Weller, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, discuss take action to approve the February 2023 EDC financials. Those were in your packet. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we discuss, take action to approve the February 2023 EDC financials.
Okay, motion for Mr. Bond. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Key. Any discussion?
I got a question.
Okay, Mr. Bond, you have the floor.
We've been without a treasurer for quite a while. Who's doing, and I'm not pointing fingers, but how are we verifying that the financials are balancing out? Is that something that you're having to do, Robin? Okay, I just wanted to see, it was more of a clarification that they were being done, and I have no problems with them. The numbers look good, but until we get a treasurer, I guess you get to wear that hat.
Let me ask this. Are we having our accountant take a look at, a final look at what you're putting together? Okay. I believe we should continue that until we do get things put together.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, we will vote from my left, please.
Key, yes.
Weller, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, discuss take action to sponsor the Texas Bass Nation Youth Fishing Tournament at $1,500. This was in your packet. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss or take action to sponsor the Texas Bass Nation Youth Fishing Tournament at $1,500.
Okay, I have a motion for Ms. Weller. Do I have a second?
Bond, second.
Second for Mr. Bond. Discussion?
Is this the amount that they've requested, or is this just an amount we decide to sponsor?
Thank you. They came to us and requested sponsorship. The meal last year cost $2,000 and we donated $1,000. This year it's gone up to $2,500. So I arbitrarily picked $1,500. We sponsored last year for $1,000 and we can change that, whatever you're comfortable with.
Just a curiosity, do we have enough to bump it another $5? I would like to,
It's a great event. It really brought a good crowd here, and they stayed here.
to me, you can't put a price on what we're gaining in publicity and revenue, plus we're helping the youth. So it would be, I would amend the motion to make it a $2,000 donation
And I second
or
that
sponsorship. I have to watch what I say, sponsorship, not donation.
My motion.
Your motion was for 1,500.
Yes, and I have a question. Robin, you said that last year we gave 1,500.
Last year, we gave
1,000,
1,000,
And the meal cost?
2,000, I believe.
Okay, so if what I'm hearing is we're basically trying to cover the meal cost?
3/4 of the meal cost, I think.
Or part thereof?
Yes.
Okay, then I think my question would be, do we decide to go up to 2,500 and cover the whole meal cost, or is that above the amount that we can do?
No, we have funds to do that, yes.
So do you want to amend it to up to?
I would like to amend my motion to make the amount $2,500 instead of $1,500.
So up to 2,500 if we don't need 2,500? Do we want to keep, just so that if she, what are your thoughts on that? Up to, but not to exceed 2,500?
The 2,500 is an estimate.
In this packet, their estimate for the pre-tournament meal is 4,000.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Okay,
and
so-
that's what I was reading. Couldn't we set a maximum amount
Yeah, that's what I,
and put it like at 3,000, say if we can spend up to $3,000? And give that okay, give you that authority to go ahead and approve up to $3,000? I would make a motion that we give our EDC director the authority to approve payment to a maximum of $3,000
okay.
for the youth fishing tournament meal.
so the original motion was by Ms. Weller, so she would need to amend her motion.
Okay.
Okay, then I would like to amend my motion to sponsor the Texas Bass Nation Youth Fishing Tournament in an amount up to $3,000 at the discretion of the EDC director.
Okay.
Okay, so,
He's second.
okay, so we have a first and second on that. Any further discussion? This was a great event last year, so, and it's advertised well, advertisement that we don't have to do. So that's really good for our city. Okay, hearing no further discussion, then we'll vote from my left, please.
Key emphatically yes.
Weller, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 6 is discuss take action to elect a new secretary and treasurer. The floor is open for a motion first that we discuss and, you have to discuss and take action.
I'd like to discuss, take action to elect a new secretary and treasurer.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bond. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Weller. Okay, the floor is now open for nomination.
I would like to go back to last month, and I know we have one opening on the board that needs to be filled. We're on unless there's somebody who wishes to take on the treasurer or the secretary, I would recommend, again, tabling it till we had a full council with the new member on board.
Okay,
Well, I would add in discussion, I'm not willing to do it. And so I don't want to be the treasurer, and I'm not willing to step into that position. And therefore, we've only got 4 of us here tonight. I think that it's very wise that we back up and heed Mr. Bond's recommendation, and let's table this motion until we get a full cabinet. We have an accountant that's viewing and holding the hand of our EDC director to make sure that all the beans count out correctly. And I think that that's the way we should continue to do it until we get to the point where we are in a place to appoint and elect a true treasurer. And we've got to do that soon because it's required by the state.
Yes, that's important.
So Robin, what is our timeline that, I mean, how much time do we have left to have this taken care of?
I really don't know. I'd have to look into it. It's important to have all the offices filled.
Right.
Do we want to discuss nominating someone for secretary?
I'd like to say something first about the idea of, I'm in favor of waiting until we have our 2 absent members present, but I don't really see a reason to wait until we get the 7th member. Somebody help me with math. It's, obviously, I won't be the treasurer because it's not my thing. Till we get the 7th member, how long will that take? First, they have to apply, then they have to be interviewed. I think I'm in favor of waiting until Mr. Kroll and Ms. Jones are here, but I'm not sure that in fact, I know I'm not in favor of waiting until the 7th person is appointed.
I think it's important to fill the offices. Even if we don't have a 7th board member, it's important to have the offices filled for the board. And if the ideal candidate came along, there's nothing that says we couldn't reappoint that office.
Okay, so as we stand now, I don't want to be the treasurer. Roy doesn't want to be the treasurer. Kate doesn't want to be the treasurer. Do any of y'all want to be the secretary?
I'll be the secretary.
Okay, I make the,
Fill that.
yeah, we can fill the secretary position.
That's important to have the secretary. That's required by Texas
Yes.
Business Code.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe that helps buy us a little leadway time. Hopefully, we will have a candidate interviewed at the next city council meeting and can come in, and then we can say, hey, you're the treasurer.
Well, Ms. Jones would want to be the treasurer. I don't know if she said she
And Deidre, Ms. Jones may be interested.
Yeah.
Brian's already a vice president, so she would be our only other option.
Okay, so at this moment, we have a nominee for the secretary, is that correct?
Yes, I, Keith Bond, will nominate Kate Weller to be the secretary of the EDC,
Okay.
if she'll accept it.
Okay, we have a nomination on the floor. Do I have a second? I think I need a second for the nomination. Yes.
Roy Key seconds the nomination for Kate Weller as secretary only.
Okay, any other discussion on this? We will vote yay or nay as it goes by for Ms. Weller, please, from my left.
Roy Key, yay.
Weller, yay.
Johanna Shea?
Bond J.
Okay, motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Weller, you are now the secretary. Okay, and then do I have, we have no nominations for the treasurer, so do we need to take, we won't take action on that, we just had discussion on that then?
I think we have to have a motion to go ahead and table the treasurer portion.
Okay, that was my next thing, so, okay, so I need a motion to table the treasurer position.
I'll make a motion that we table the treasurer's position until we have more of our board present to choose from.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion for Mr. Bond, a second for Ms. Weller. Any further discussion? Hearing none, vote for my left, please.
Key, yes.
Weller, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion carries. Okay. Item number 7 is discuss take action to sign and agree to abide by the Gun Barrel City Code of Ethics. This is a resolution that the city council has approved and already passed. This is more of an information item. It's not something that we get to decide on. So I think it's just information purposes. Correct, Robin?
Yes, there's no action to be taken.
Okay, so that's in your packet, just so we all have a copy of that. Okay, at this time, we will adjourn to executive session for deliberations regarding economic development negotiations, section 551.087.
Are we not doing
Whoa,
8?
whoa, whoa.
We've got one
What
more.
happened to the
number 8.
budget amendment?
Oh, I missed it. I am so sorry. I had it marked through, guys. I apologize. Back up, rewind the tape. Okay, item number 8, discuss take action to approve a budget amendment to add $350,000 to new business incentives. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we discuss, take action to approve a budget amendment to add $350,000 to the new business incentives.
Okay, Mr. Bond has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Weller. The floor is open for discussion at this time.
Robin?
I included in your packet the original budget for this year, and then the amended budget is on the top, adding 350 to the business incentives line. No other lines were changed. I did include a page at the back showing you our current bank account totals. And you can see that if we move this money, we still will have 1.9 years in reserves, which is a fair amount. It really doesn't put us at risk. I did pull the fiscal year sales tax revenue for the last few years. Starting in 2019-20, the sales tax for the whole city, for, the city's budget and our budget altogether was 2.9 million. And then in 2020, 2021, it was up to 3.2 million. 21, 22, 3.6 million, and then 22, 23 is estimated to be at 4.2. So what I take away from that is that what the EDC is doing, investing into the city, is increasing our sales tax revenue. Now, we're not the only factor, but I do think that what we're doing is effective.
Okay. So basically, we're just increasing by $350,000 what we can give back to the city.
Yeah, we're moving it from reserves into the business incentives.
So that just, let's say we had 750,000, we just add this to it, and that's what we're going to make Gun Barrel great with.
Yeah.
So our reserves will fall to, what, the difference between 350 and 392, correct? $40,000, $42,000?
We have 1.6 in the bank right now. It's about 2.5 years. And
Maybe I stated that wrong. Looking at your budget that you gave us, you said at the very end of that budget, you've got $392,735 proposed reserve to use.
that was for last year.
Okay.
That approved budget, that money got moved into the accounts that it was proposed for. So it got moved into new business incentives and the Heritage Parkway infrastructure. So the new budget for the amended budget that I'm presenting this evening is the one on top. And at the end of it, it says proposed reserves at $350,000. If approved, we would move that amount from reserves into new business incentives.
So our total remaining would be what, Robin? 1.6?
Yes,
1.6. Okay. And you said that is a year and 9 months worth of,
basically, yes.
okay. And
I
current-
think-
Go ahead.
I think I understand maybe what Mr. Key is trying to ask. On the top budget, on the second page, at the very end, it says proposed reserves, 350,000. Okay, then go to the very last page that you gave us, and it says proposed reserves to use, 392,735.
So I apologize, but the back half of your packet is the proposed budget that we approved in October to begin this fiscal year. So that information was from that time, and it was approved, and that amount of money, the 392, was added in to the two spots where it was proposed.
Okay, so we're
Now, the
adding an
amended
additional
budget reflects
okay.
that, plus an additional 350,000 moved over.
I
I
understand.
should have done two separate packets, as it is confusing.
So what do we have in right now? Because we've spent some of what we moved over for this year. Do you know what we'll have now?
In new business incentives, we really haven't. We've been doing grants.
Right?
So in new business incentives, we currently have 200,000, so we'll be adding to that.
Okay, so we'll add the 350 to that, so we'll have 550 in that line item. Okay. Is everyone's heart clear? Any other questions? No other questions? Okay, hearing no further discussion, can I have a vote from my left, please?
Key, yes.
Willer, yes.
Johannes, yes?
Bond, yes.
Motion carries. Now, I was so excited to do this earlier. At this time, we will adjourn to executive session for an update, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations, Section 551-087. Let the record show that we're doing this at 6:27. You are all